Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 3 with Black Ice 8.6. Okay, with lots of other mods, Third Reich events, of course, units of the Third Reich, German graphical augmentations, the D-Worms mod, Tanganyika, hello, a few other minor stuff. The reason I'm going over that is I'm hoping that we'll have a bunch more people showing up at this episode, because this episode I do believe is the one that we're going to start the war with. I say that because I am moving all these divisions up to the front lines here. We're going to wait for that. Might as well be in position and ready to go. Blitzkrieg Doctrine advance. Now I will say I have a tendency to want to not, I don't know, complete rolling artillery barrage would be great. Complete every tech or anything like that, but just to give them money for rare materials. No. Oh, we probably should have said yes. Okay, because what we're going to need to do here is come down here. And we're going to start with these. Anything that we are... Yeah, I should have taken that. We have a miner. We're importing. We're going to stop. Give it time so all of our convoys will get home. Okay, Yugoslavia we don't need to stop. These European countries we don't need to stop. They'll either stop on their own or not. Yeah, we're going to be in a world of hurt here. The US, we're going to think about the US for the moment. But let's go over diplomacy. And down to the Soviet Union here. They've got a lot, so we're going to see about buying $30. Okay, I think we'll do that. No, we just stopped a lot of longer receive money from, and they agreed. Okay. Give it a day or so. Yes, I started some naval activity out there. Okay, AVF. Tracks and suspension. Great, which will allow me to start improving light or medium. We'll start with medium. Tanks. Sending out the subs. Get them out on station there. Okay, well. Okay, let's see. Secretary of Public Information. We will stop on that and the mass events as well. Bonus and large warship radar. Okay, well, any aircraft fire control, that would be very useful. And let's also do standard sort of big gun fire control. And we have another slot available. Yeah, we'll do that. And 5,000 metal and supplies for Siegfried. Yeah. Yeah. Big chunk. Now let's look at Sweden. We don't have much in the way of metal or raw materials. But they've got a surplus of energy, so maybe they'll sell to us. No. No, we're not buying fuel at this time. Okay, the Melee Megla, the 1,000-mile race, 1940. Yep, we're participating in it. The SS entered the car. It's sort of a touring car kind of race in Italy. Did go on even though there was a war. Oh, Sweden's now money for fuel. No, I don't want fuel from you. Production. Well, we're producing more. Yeah, okay, well. Let's drop. No. Well. It's okay, I guess. Let's up that because I'll get that through faster. But. Let's go to upgrades here. Try to rush through all those. And another tech. Ooh, dual purpose anti-tank guns. Anti-aircraft anti-tank guns. Medium warship radar. Yeah, nice too. I have these set out here on passive, so that hopefully they'll go home if they get too damaged. I don't have to micromanage them too much. And let's send these guys to patrol as well. No, you don't want fuel from me. Okay, artillery flexibility. That happened pretty fast. Oh no, it's over here. Here we go, okay. Oh, we've been doing that once, but I thought it was one artillery barrages there. Grand battle. There we go. Okay. Money for fuel, no. The 3rd Brandenburg Commando Unit, and the 147th. Another one of these garrison ones. We're going to form this division. And where is it? Okay, so that's a fairly weak one, but let's give it a... Somebody just command it. We'll leave it there for the moment, don't know. Now let's send you over this way. No, we don't want fuel. Okay, surplus of coal. Okay, let's see if Italy will sell me some coal. We're down by a lot. Now, will Yugoslavia sell me some? Well, see if we, oh, we can't yet. Now, how are we doing? Okay, we've got 99. Still have a bunch of Boston convoys, though. Well, I'm going to leave those going for a little while, at least. Probably shouldn't, but it'll take a while to shift over to the Soviets. Okay. Well, you're almost in place. We're going to wait for that stack to get in place. I know we don't have to, but I feel like it. Because I think it's going to be very soon. You're going to go to war with me also. Yes, we'll change the Enigma codes. Ooh, new monumental building. Okay. We're gonna appease them. No fuel. Let's look at this a little better. Okay, we have the Imperial Seat of Government. Okay, we've got all these. So this is the last big thing we need to get here. Foreign Ministry, espionage, counterintelligence, ruling party support, which is nice. But the War Ministry, I think, is what we want to do here. Yeah, every +5 reinforcement bonus. I don't see a significant downside, so we are going to go with a Imperial War Ministry. Yes. Okay. Build this. Okay, so we've got 5% additional land, air, and naval organization, and a reinforcement bonuses of 10%. That's very good. Who are we doing this with? Romania. Yes. Okay, we're gonna save. Ooh, we have, because we have no. There we go. That's why that was so bad and jumped up as bad as it did. Part of the reason, I think. The other, well, no, actually, the reason it jumped up is because of the foreign ministry thing, because that's sort of how it does that. But I think I don't know. What's the appease combination? Okay, so yeah, I'm going to save this just in case I do something stupid. Close. Now, Danzig War, Ribbentrop asked the Poles to return Danzig and a strip of German territory across the Polish corridor. I wish I had a bigger budget for this. Now, part of that is just literally my times budget. I have a really nice map that I think was prepared, I don't know, 1920, 1930, something like that, in that period, before the Nazis came to power. And it was sort of this part of the world. And it looked at the ethnicities of the people of this part of the world. Now, let me state this. All maps are propaganda, flat out. They're all propaganda. Man, the Soviet Union is awesomely huge. No, it ain't. It's big, yes, it's very big. But a lot of this is spread out here is because it's projected up towards the poles. So if you really got it, you got the actual square mass sort of centered, and then centered over something like China. Oh, it'll be bigger than China, but it's not that huge. Okay, Canada similarly, yeah, a lot of that's big up there, but it ain't quite that big because similarly it's that, so if you were to move it around. So even when we're not trying to be propagandistic with a map, maps are propaganda. Totally get this. And this was somebody's German map of man, excuse me. Of where Germans were living, and this was sort of pertinent because I do believe maybe it was a 1920. I've got it, an image of it from online, and this is sort of I think in the era of, because it's before the Nazis, but it says the date on it, I forget, but it's something like that. Maybe it's 24. I don't remember. That's not terribly important, but it was sort of in the era of one of Wilson's 14 points, forget which one of them, sort of national determination. If, well, somebody complained about, after I talked about this province here, and Poland's wanting to grab it from the Czechoslovakia, and he posted, I presume it's a he, I should read up more on how that became part of Czechoslovakia. And quite honestly, I don't know the story. And I said, you have a point. But my main point with that was just this province, for both sides, whether it's for the Czech side or for the Polish side, is it really worth not have that province, one way or the other, to not have a unified front against Nazi Germany? That was my point. Not where, and I will totally grant that was probably a majority Czech province, majority Polish province, but it was supposed to, like, well, if this is majority Polish, it should be Poland. If it's majority Czech, it should be Czech. If it's majority German, it should be German, kind of thing. So maps are propaganda. But this was in the time period, and I think it was after Poland was sort of formed. But so I think it's in the 20s. And it shows in red is where the Germans are. And it shows right through this section in here. Sort of these very, very red. As in lots of Germans. Where in this sort of regions, mostly specks of red. In sort of a sea of, I don't know, yellow or something for Poles or whatever it was. I forget exactly. But in an, so that this area was a significant German population, but maybe not majority German population. Well, here it was. So I think the Germans, obviously have a case. If you're looking at territory, should be who lived there at this very moment in time, whatever time that is, whether it's 1936, 1920, 2017. If whoever lives there, the majority should determine what country it is. Well, if that's the case, all you got to do is flood in people and go, hey, here, this majority here in Lowerstoff is now French. 65% of the people that there are French, so that now becomes part of France. What? You see my point. Just because people move there and then want to go to another country doesn't necessarily mean that this territory should change. Now, it might change. There are reasons, we've talked about the Sudetenland. The Germans there did want to be part of Germany, but, there's reasons. So, but my point is, the Germans had a point, but this was also Polish territory. But also remember that this isn't Polish territory created by Poland. It's Polish territory, at least was my understanding. I may be wrong. Again, I haven't read the details. By the treaties of Versailles and subsequent treaties. The U.S. treaty was after Versailles with that, but like Treaty of Saint-Germain or something, I don't know. But that where now this border is more of the Polish did fight for it against the Bolsheviks. So it's a created situation. This old Danzig, free city of Danzig, is a completely artificial thing. The Danzigers didn't rise up and go, we don't want to be ruled by anybody else. We're our own people. No, it was sort of created because there was a dispute between Germany and Poland. They wanted to give Poland a path to the sea. And yes, there were Poles. And this map even shows in with this border, because it has these sort of, Czechoslovakia was there. It has these borders. So it was sometime after the Versailles and other subsequent treaties. But and it shows these borders, but as being some Poles living inside of, spots of Poles living inside of the borders of Germany, is sort of a minority population. So it can be touchy. And I totally get that X persons, 10 generations have lived in this province, and it may have changed back and forth between Germany and Poland and whoever else. And if you want to stay there, well, then you're going to accept the government. If you want to be in your own ethnic government and it's different than the current rulers, I guess you got to leave. And that's just the way things go. Okay, so Germany, and the real fight was over the strip of land. Germany could have had Danzig at any second it wanted to. It would have just been a simple local uprising, because this picture is often type of thing covered in swastikas, because the locals were heavily German and wanted to be part of Germany. It could have easily risen up, attacked the small Polish garrison, because there was a small Polish garrison, really small, and taken over Danzig, and then before the real Polish army that was outside of it was able to move into the Danzig territory, Germany could have occupied it and just go, nani nani nu nu, it's ours now, we've got it, and that would have been it. If that's all that had happened, if there was an uprising in Danzig and Germany goes in and takes it with nobody else going across any borders, that's all it would have happened. And it could have happened in, well, probably not 36, that's probably a little too early, but 38, Fine. So Poland didn't want to give up its control of a path to the sea. That's what they didn't want to give up. What Germany really wanted was an excuse, or I should say Hitler. What Hitler really wanted was an excuse for a localized war against Poland. They went to some ridiculous lengths of staging a attack on a German radio station that was near the border. I think it was one of these things that was primarily designed to broadcast propaganda into Poland. We've seen some of the events about that. And other sorts of things to prove that the Poles were being aggressive and Poles were causing this conflict. If Germany just wanted a war, it could have just done it. It didn't really matter. It was trying to appease the German people, because they were believing a lot of what's coming out of the government, is that, hey, Germany's just defending itself and trying to get its just rights. And two, trying to the international audience, particularly Britain and France, that, hey, Germany just wants this, but the Poles are being stubborn and being aggressive. And sort of in the idea of, at least this is my thinking of it sort of that the Poles are trying to cause trouble to get support from Britain and France. The kind of thing, cause a conflict to get them in the war. And so Hitler's trying to do this sort of double bluff, or whatever you want to call it, to go, no, we're not really doing any of this. We're just defending ourselves and reacting. Obviously, that's not the case. And I think Hitler just... Okay, from now on out, and someone was posting in the Hearts of Iron 4 forum about Hitler's mistakes, and people wouldn't do what he wanted to do, blah, 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 and it really wasn't so bad, blah, 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 blah. Okay, from this point on out, Hitler's leadership is counterproductive. I don't know of one single significant thing that Hitler really wanted to drive home that wasn't counterproductive in his running of Germany and everything else. He thought the democracies were always going to back down unless directly attacked. This was his mistake of a weakness of a democracies. Democracies are not weak. Democracies just need the consensus of the people. Now, Hitler knew that he needed the consensus of the German people. I've talked about this a lot in this series, and how he would have people that push policies out there, and then once it sort of came back, oh, this is a bit too far, he'd sort of step in and like solve the problem, and oh, yeah, this Gauleiter went too far on the plan. We were moving this direction, but man, they just got out of control, kind of thing. So he never wanted to be too out in front of where the German people were ready for National Socialist ideas. And this includes the war. The German people did not want to go to war. They were terrified of going to war. Trust me, they were terrified of it. They went through the First World War. They got all the scares of the new weapons that I've talked about for other, in the films that I see that are American, or English, I should say, English speaking, huge bomber raids on cities and cities being destroyed from the air and all this stuff. And obviously it's nowhere near the scale of nuclear weapons, but it sort of had somewhat of that feel of these new terrible machines of war. The Germans were just terrified of war. Now, this all shifts once France falls, but until then, the German people are just terrified of this whole thing. So Hitler has to be very careful about what he's doing here. Now, the German people, like I say, didn't want to go to war, but maybe a little thing in Poland wouldn't be so bad. So Hitler miscalculates, because he thinks with his Führer principle, he does have to bring the consensus of the people along, but he is the leader and driving it, where the democracies, it's more the governments are doing what the people want and blah, 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 and they're not strong. No. They are gun-shy, like the German people are gun-shy about going to another major war. And they sort of believe in sort of democratic self-determination, so they're sort of like go along with the Sudetenland thing. But eventually, at some point, they're going to build a consensus of their people that whatever this is just one step too far, and then you're going to have a war, And then once you do, you're going to have a very strong, cohesive national movement, like we'll see in particularly Britain. France stays fractionalized. There is political fractions going on till even after the fall of France. France is a chaotic situation. How do I put this? This is something I'm thinking I'm going to say is controversial here. Okay. The Obama administration. I know some of you are what I call left of center and probably think that everything I'm saying about Obama is Obama bashing just for Obama bashing. That's not what I'm trying to do here. But I truly believe that the Obama administration was purely concerned with domestic political situation. Foreign policy was partially, I think, comes out of Obama himself and partially out of the general sort of leftist Democrats that he supported, that much of the problems in the world are caused by outside interference. And one of the major outside interferers was America. Okay? Not that America is necessarily evil. A lot of these people think. It's just misguided, or maybe doing stuff in a Cold War that it felt it needed to do, but did bad things to the locals. So that if we just sort of be diplomatic with the other nations of the world, we'll get along much better and things will just be much better if we do that. And so, but also, and sort of, not to be non-interventionists in the sense, but they are interventionists in a sense if there is a consensus of nations to do something, either regionally or the complete world. So if you get 5 or 6 of the local nations somewhere, there's a problem, they all agree upon the solution, well, the Obama administration would put some U.S. support behind it. Maybe like in some cases that they did during the Obama administration, particularly, and I think we're still doing it, is the war that's going on out here today. There is a war out here, mainly led by France against various Islamic fundamentalist groups that may or may not be a link to ISIS, but they're more local phenomena that may get some support. I'm thinking in Mali and Niger and some other stuff. There's terrorist attacks out there, and a lot of it now is being fought by the French. It's no longer the Foreign Legion, it's just the Legion. The French Legion and other units are being fought out there. But France doesn't necessarily have the significant infrastructure to fly in troops, equipment, supplies, and that. And so the U.S. is, I don't think, doing too many airstrikes, so it may be doing some of that. But it's doing a lot of logistical air support for this operation. That's sort of the kind of thing is yeah, there's terrorists. Yeah, the French will take care of it. Yeah, the locals will train up, do this, but the U.S. will support it. That sort of kind of thing is sort of in the Obama administration wheelhouse. But most of the decisions for the Obama administration are domestic. And so they see the domestic policies, and this is sort of the continuing democratic situation. I don't know if the Democrats realize it, but they're pushing us into a war with Russia right now. I pointed out to a few people on Twitter, where have the Democrats called for the war? I point out, if you keep pushing Trump the way you're pushing it, the way Trump is going to prove that he's not a Russian puppet is to shoot at a Russian aircraft, ship, submarine, base, something somewhere. So whether it's targeting a Russian base that's operating in Syria, or whether it's move an aircraft carrier into a Black Sea, and then when the Russians buzz it, once that makes the news a couple of times, they'll give the order, well, next time there's a Russian aircraft within 100 miles of you, you shoot it down, or whatever it might be. And so if you keep pushing Trump in this agenda, you're pushing it for a war. I'm not suggesting a nuclear war, but a fight with Russia. And they're all claiming it's, well, don't you support Ukrainian independence? None of these Democratic senators voted for sending any weapons to the Ukraine. Okay? They didn't do any serious embargoes or maneuvers over Crimea. You know what you could have done is, if you did it very early on, is just go, oh, hey, I'm talking within the first 60 days of the Soviet, or the Russians, want to say Soviets, but the Russians taking over the Ukraine. Should have just said, hey, the Crimea, hey, Ukrainian government, we would like to do some joint live fire exercises with you. Only in your national territory. Okay, well, we're going to start here, and let's pretend we're attacking Sevastopol. So we're going to, take a couple of U.S. armored battalions, and we're going to move towards Sevastopol. And we've got live fire, live rounds in the tanks, and just drive to damn Sevastopol and dare the Russians to shoot at them. And if they do, shoot back and kill them. And go, hey, we're not fighting Russians. We're doing a live fire exercise inside of Ukrainian territory. What, are there Russian troops there? How did they get there? We don't recognize that. But that had to happen very, very soon. Now it's gone on too long. But none of these senators and congressmen wanted to do anything to really support, anything provocative to support Ukrainian independence until it was Trump. So it's purely operating for domestic politics. And so they believe that their domestic agendas aren't going to cause major international problems. I'm thinking of like Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, and yes, Obama. That's sort of their mindset. That's sort of what was going on in France. I know it's sort of a long ways around to it. They thought the Maginot Line was going to hold. It was the super trench from World War I, and they had won World War I, and they thought they had the best army in the world. They convinced themselves. The army thought they had the best army, so the government thought they had the best army. They thought the defenses that were built along here in Belgium were going to hold. And then, so long as they hold and come up with some French reinforcements, everything's going to be okay. We're going to come in here and somewhere around here, whether the Netherlands falls or not, they're going to hold. So this is going to hold. And obviously, you can see France's whole policy was never to be aggressive against Germany. They did not want to cause the war. But if it was going to happen, it was going to hold. And so the domestic policies of all the different parties, and some of them are communist parties of France, but others are, and I don't even have a good handle on all the different parties, but it's a fractured government. There's still, to this day, there's still 3 royalist factions. Now, you may go, oh, those are hardly anything. Yeah, they are hardly anything, but a certain amount of the elites in France still hold to them, and including in the army. And some are Bonapartist, and then there's 2 different Bourbonist royalist factions, and that's sort of on the hard traditional right. But then there's a fascist right. And, and then you got various centric parties, and then you got the left parties. And so France is fractured, so its army is fractured. And I don't know, I don't know what the levels of socialist support are in the officer corps. Sorry, this is turning into a bit of a talk here, but we're going to get to the war soon. The social support in the officer corps, I'm sure there's got to be some. But when you have the NCOs and all the people drafted into the army, they're all political persuasions, and so they don't have a common sense. So France stays fractured, but they go to war. Okay, that's enough talk on that. So we're going to get to the war here. Declare war on Poland. Okay, we have declared war on Poland. We do want to take the city, but we're just taking multiple paths. Put around it. No. Do this over. The infantry division, you're going to attack there. Mostly just to attack this province from more than one direction. Send in the flak regiment, correct? Okay, one slice, let's send it there. Set them off. No. Go here. They should probably be attached to somebody, but it's just... Good street fighters. Okay. Take those divisions there. Quick attack. We need another HQ up here. Well, let's send you up here fast. We'll get up there, we'll attach, but... There we go. Yeah. Support that attack. Now, let's come in here, passively ground attack. Not that big of a one. It's a bigger. here. We'll maybe have enough air and receptors, but let's get these up here. Germany's safe. Polish threat. Very far, very much. I'll send you over here. Yeah, good enough. Ooh, I want to protect the air intercept. And let's come down here. What's that attack? We gotta slow this way down. If you think I talk a little too much, I probably do, but just about the political situation. I think the political situation is often why things are won or lost. Okay, well, we sunk something out here. Good. You know, there's a reason why France's huge army okay, looks like we're winning everywhere. Yeah, we now have decisions to make. Okay. Okay, requisition civilian. We're gonna go with a medium fleet. I'm not absolutely sure what the effects are here, but okay, take what we can. Leave some for fishing. We're gonna leave some for fishing, but we're taking a medium fleet, so I think that dumps a bunch of these things, and which is what I've sort of been waiting for. We don't have anything to invade with yet. Into the production queue. Here. Yay, they all are cost 0 I see, so they should happen fairly quick. Now, this one, Hungary does not control Paris and is at peace with the Soviet Union. War with France. Okay, and here. Okay, we're not going to do those yet. And this is at war and it's at least 36. So we're going to take wartime measures. Lose 2 in dissent. Well, we'll get 2 in dissent. Will reduce national revolt risk, will increase energy, which by 50%, well, we could use that. Money down, yeah, well. Consumer goods down. We could do that. So, we're going to do that. Now, the other thing is, which I haven't done, because obviously we just did this, is we need to change this. See, it's saying war economy, service by requirements, and heavy industry emphasis. Okay. So, mixed industry, heavy industry. So instead of money will be down instead of up, but we'll reduce consumer goods during wartime and increase ICs and IC efficiency production. So yes, that's almost a no-brainer. Obviously, because of the additional consumer good during peacetime, this is not a good thing to do, as well as research efficiencies down, but we're going to do that. We want to economic laws here. War economy here. 25% instead of 10% ICs. Money down a little bit. No, a little bit less. Instead of 25, it's only 15%. Leadership modifier down. Presumably guys going off to the war. Consumer goods going down, so that's good. And officer recruitment time, but daily dissent change. So we'll deal with that. Yeah. And service by requirement. National manpower up, which we are not so bad, but not so good. Leadership modifier up, which is going to improve things. Consumer goods during wartime cost a little bit more, but we get several bonuses. Okay, so that's almost a no-brainer too now that we're at war. Okay, and also on the political front, we want to change the foreign minister. Okay, consumer goods, the main reason I kept him around, obviously daily dissent change and ruling party support's nice, but just a little bit. The main thing was his consumer goods during peacetime, because he was not a wartime personality. But Yakov von Ribbentrop is. National manpower increase, money, threat, impact, and change in neutrality. So we're going to go to him because he's a better wartime foreign minister. Security. We will want Himmler. I think he's required for some events to happen, but manpower, leadership, cost ICs, and the reason I do the ICs are twofold. The SS had some of its own production for weapons of war. It was sort of a state within a state, but productions that were different than the armies. Their rockets, the army overbuilt its rockets that were spin stabilized by putting a little bit of the propellant gas out that spun it, where the SS followed the Russian example of a fin stabilized, meaning it didn't spin, it had fins on it, and a few other things like that they did different. But the real thing is the 3% ICs down, because that's a pretty big chunk, is the Holocaust, and it's doing that in the middle of the war is counterproductive. Yes, they had their state within the state, and they had various use of labor, forced labor, slave labor, for things that helped the war, but they overdid it, of course. And so, but we're going to use him because we are playing National Socialist Germany. Now here, leadership modifier, research efficiency, but production efficiency isn't so good. We're going to go over to Canaris for improved wartime leadership, I think is what we're going to do. So we're changing that. We're going to leave him. We can't change those two. Let's look at Chief of Staff here. Should probably do a new one for Hobbit, but I don't know if I'll ever get to it. Combat, green attack, reinforcement, mobile unit. Okay. Organization regain rate. Yodel, that's really fast. That's good. Starting experience, attack, reinforcement. I'm going to leave this for the moment. Give it him brow hitch. Don't want to do Hitler. Land organization, organizational regain rate, Keitel. I don't have a good opinion of Keitel. As you can tell, we're going to leave brow hitch in charge. So, bunch of various bonuses here. Now let's look at production here. Okay. Now we're back down. Oh, we're going to leave this at that because we're up to 5, so we want to reduce that fast. Oh, we're bombing an armored unit or something. Okay. Now that we're no longer attacking a unit, let's... Because of the... Quite honestly, like I said, I'm really happy to be back and playing this. But I'm also used to playing Hearts of Iron 4. And for those of you who, justifiably, have not been playing it, they don't have the attack delay between combat. And I don't think what they've done is wrong, but I don't know if it's what I would have done. What they're sort of presuming is that if you have organization, you can attack. And so when you're attacking, and including it going into non-occupied provinces, moving into them, you lose organization. So let's put you up over here. Air intercept. And so I can see that as a reasonable thing. But I guess, okay, here's my main objection to that is you can definitely say, oh, Turkish forces don't have that much organization, so you just give them less organization. But I look at it as lack of radios, lack of other mobile forms of communication. Say with the Turkish army, you go, oh, the Turkish army had radio. Yeah, but they never had them down to the platoon level like the U.S. Army does. Not during this time. The the idea that you sort of gotta coordinate, plan, get the guys together. Okay, this is what we're doing tomorrow, and plan that out. And once you sort of achieve that, take that province, you got to sort of plan out for the next one. And I just look at that as a slower process. That's just the way I'm sort of interpreting this, to show the difference between Germany and Turkey, if you will, on that thing. Now you can just show the difference by let's look at C actions here. So sunk a convoy, good. Sunk a convoy. We're still not at war with Britain? Passing through here. What's passing through here too? Set into Sisako. Where is this? With Japan. What are we still doing with Japan? Oh, rare materials. Let's cancel that. Let's go to this as we start to see various advances. Now let's speed just a little bit. Okay, we've lost the effects of the Austrian economic miracle. Okay. Which is a bummer. Don't really understand what all that was about. We'll gain some money, some supplies, and lose ICs briefly for filling an aircraft order. Oh, we need to... Oh, that's right. That is to move all the reserve units and to fully man them. That's right, I forget to do that. Maybe should have done that before the start of the war. All these have already settled back down, damn. Oh well. Okay, we're starting to lose that now. What can we... Okay, we can trade. Okay, we're bringing in... Well, we were bringing in... Let's US put an embargo on us? Traded knows like to do the party being out of tradable resources. Okay, well. Okay, well. Let's... For trade agreement, we want to buy rare materials. Okay, they've got 100, so let's buy 50. And let's see about what we can cancel from the US. 8, 9. Oh, no, that didn't. I don't know why you aren't mobilizing your armed forces there, Italy. I don't want you to join any wars. Spain, give them energy for some money? Yes, we'll do that. Okay, well, let's give you an attack path. You get your motorized division. Okay, well, you've advanced. I want to look and see what terrain is like. Let's go with this one. Okay, well. You move into there. Okay, we're going to end the episode here. I want to thank you so much for watching. I want to thank you for liking the videos. I really do appreciate that. And please post questions, comments, suggestions, ideas. Love hearing from you. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron.